are these people?
Last story for the night.
Yeah.
Unlike Jimmy Dore, we are able to figure out how to play Joe videos, and you don't have to wait for Friday. You know,
I'm gonna tell Jimmy you said that, Rafe. I'm telling him.
Please.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Yeah, tell him to get on it. Tell him to get in touch. I'm down.
not gonna do that.
Yell at me. I'll take it. I'm fine.
He will. He'll come for you, dude.
We'll roast battle.
Dude, his appearance on Tucker. If you guys haven't seen his appearance on Tucker, holy balls!
Did you see Turncoat Don's video where he put it into MSNBC?
Yeah,
it's fantastic. So, Collin, you want to cue this up?
Yeah. So those of you who know, we reported on Pushan Brown's rally in DC that happened 3 weekends ago, I guess now. So Pushan Brown was an Amazon employee who illegally did COVID testing to her employees in her factory, and she died. Basically, this was in the beginnings of the pandemic, so obviously we didn't have a vaccine yet. So she was doing a lot of stuff that she had no right of doing. She wasn't a medical professional, so she had no right to be helping her coworkers as far as swabbing them and all of that. So she died from that. So I went to the rally thanks to Indy. You know, and I spoke to Tina, her sister, and, you know, I asked her, what can we do to elevate, you know, your sister's story? And she said, share, talk about it. So we did on that stream, and I'm like, we can do better than that. So I was really inspired by some of the speakers and what they said, you know, and I had the idea of, and we talk about, you know, we talk about Kwame Ture a lot on this show. And for good reason, but I had the idea of, like, there was a lot of talk with a couple of the speakers in terms of capitalism. So I approached Joe and I was like, Joe, I need you to take the clips from the rally and insert clips of different Black revolutionary leaders talking about capitalism. Basically is what I said. So that just give that premise. I was very vague in what I asked for, and we ended up with this diamond of a clip that Joe, I know you're in chat, hopefully you're still here, but you don't even understand what you did. So if you watched it already, great. If you haven't, even better, because I think, you know, it's so good. Again, shout out to Joe for your work on this. I really appreciate you in working on this. And very
go check out his YouTube channel. It should be in that. You go to indienews.network. Should be in. You meet the members. Should be in there. Go find his YouTube channel.
INET doesn't do the drama, folks. We also bring you some quality content that, and I'm going to talk more about it after it. But yeah. So
roll the beam footage.
Cool. Yes, please.
If we carefully examine a capitalist system, we will see that it's based on exploitation, because the viciousness of capitalism, and the reason why once black people examine it, we can never be for it, is that under a capitalist system, the fruits of those who labor are enjoyed by somebody else.
The root of the problem is Jeff Bezos having employees that had no medical profession illegally COVID test.
It is a crime for people to live in this rich nation and receive starvation wages.
What should we say about a brand that's responsible for workers' abuses, for workers' deaths?
As a result of the assault on the labor movement, and as a result of the continuing massive transfer of wealth to the already wealthy. We know that 8 billionaires own as much as the poorest half of humanity.
For all the injustices that come and are exploited by Jeff Bezos in order to continually make him the richest man in the world.
Now, 8 people, including Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they own more than 3.8 billion people combined. Isn't that obscene?
I'm not happy about the death of my sister.
I think the time has come to bring to bear
the power of the direct action, the nonviolent direct action movement on the basic economic conditions that we face all over the country.
So in June, they sent her a letter and said because she was such an outstanding employee and they appreciated her caring and compassion for the warehouse, they were going to be moving her to the COVID safety department. And therefore, she was a safety champion. And her job was entitled to take temperatures, tell people to stand 6 feet away from each other, make sure everyone had masks.
These conditions have been created by global capitalism. And I think this is a period during which we need to begin that process of popular education, which will allow people to understand the interconnections of racism, heteropatriarchy, capitalism.
She was instructed to illegally COVID test, and she was trained by another Amazon employee to stick a Q-tip swab in the nose to do a COVID test with no proper PPE. With no gloves, no mask, just a regular Amazon check mask.
This stage of capitalism has begun to further reveal the obsolescence of the nation state as the most appropriate form of human community.
No matter how I feel about Amazon, my sister was a loyal, she was a faithful, she was a dedicated, a devoted employee. She worked every shift in that warehouse. My sister never said no. She never said no. She came in early, she stayed late.
You know, capitalism doesn't just rape your labor and rip off your resources, it deforms your thinking. It deforms your thinking. You never judge a system by its adherents. You never judge any system by its believers. You judge it by its principles.
2 years of fighting and advocating for Pooh and her daughter Gabby, and nothing.
The condition of our people is extreme, and it takes an extreme action to correct an extreme condition. Moderate action or compromising action won't correct it.
This right here is a civil rights moment.
I'm going to keep every promise I made to you, as long as I have a breath in my body and even after that. And I'm going to say to you that justice is this year. Justice is coming. And I mean that. I'm not going to leave no stone unturned, no paper not filed. I'm going to get justice for you.
The only way the black man's condition can be corrected in America, politically, socially, economically, and otherwise, is if we do it ourselves.
But to be here 2 years later without justice is inhumane by itself.
I should point out that capitalism is very much linked to the global conditions produced by slavery.
Like Christina said, we're not going to give up.
This professor or scientist points out that second-class citizenship is nothing but a modern version of slavery, which means that according to his definition, slavery still exists. 20 million black people here in America are still slaves. The Emancipation Proclamation and the Civil War were fought for nothing.
We have marched around this world speaking about my sister and the injustice that's done on her, the indirect murder from Jeff Bezos' Amazon, forcing my sister to illegally COVID test, where there was no vaccination out.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness.
Amazon's going to have to pay, just as the ALU knows. Just as all these other workers all around the country who've been mistreated, they know that Amazon's day is coming.
So please, say her name. Say her name. Say her name.
Sean Brown? That name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And fuck Jeff Bezos, by the way.
Well,
yeah.
Fuck capitalism. Really.
That is as well.
Core of it. At the core of it, fuck capitalism. Yes. So couple of things. As I said, Joe, you're amazing. Thank you. Again, brother, I don't think you understand what you did here. But couple of things that I kind of heard from this, like when Angela Davis was talking about the billionaires, guys, who did that sound like?
The millionaires,
like
the billionaires.
Are you talking about Bernie?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Bernie.
I mean, but I think this kind of shows how politicians take activists' language for their own benefit and use them to enrich themselves and not us. So I think, and actually I didn't know it was Angela Davis who said all of that. initially. So the fact that Joe pulled that, I was just kind of like, damn, like Bernie, you motherfucker, you really screwed us over in terms of using our movement, our language, our talking points for what? So
to help Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden.
Asking for your financial support.
No.
Fuck you.
No.
I want my money back still from 2016.
Right. We're not doing that again. At least I'm not doing that again. Not sure about you all. So number one. Number two, and I'm going to shame you all for a second. If this doesn't go viral, you're not serious about changing anything on the left. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Like, we can have fun and do all the drama stuff and, and even on here, and Indy and Reef know this because I complained, especially the last couple of weeks, I've complained about this. Like, our biggest views so far have been when we talked about force the vote and Marianne Williamson with the thing that happened with RBN last week. Now, granted, like, it's almost necessary to do that kind of stuff because, that's what, unfortunately, YouTube likes. That's what the algorithm favors. And so, you almost have to do that mess. And you can kind of see with other channels that they kind of do that constantly. If they choose to do that, fine. They have the right to do that. We at INN don't choose to do that. We might do some of it when we need to, but more often than not, we want to do stuff like this, and again, I was very lucky having been in DC that I was able to record the thing. And then Joe was able to splice up the clips that I made to make this. So again, but some of our clips that I think, some of our stories that we've talked about, that are far more pressing than what Marianne Williamson spoke about, or what Crystal Ball said, or what all these other people say and do, like, the clips that I think, the clips that
and messaging and didn't actually.
Right, the stories that I feel like should matter as far as elevating our message, in this independent media space, for us at least, don't do as well. And so, and again, for us, we're going to do it regardless. Hell, this stream is probably going to get demonetized because of this, But for us, at least for me, it's not about the numbers. It's about the eyeballs.
Misty, what was the last YouTube video you had with monetization available?
My channels have never been monetized. I've never monetized any of my channels.
Cool.
Right.
I'm a grifter. That's what we do. That's what grifters do.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't monetize our channels.
So this stream is probably going to get demonetized because of this clip, But for me, it's like, I don't care. It's not about the money. And for us, it's about, in this case, especially with this clip, the eyeballs to have people see it. Because number one, like, again, this is bigger than Pouchon. Granted, she died in the most horrific way. She died doing her job. The biggest issue is capitalism. And I thought on the left, that's what we should be attacking. We're
too busy fighting each other, homie. Come on.
Right. So, but
I think your video showcased, like, you and Joe's video showcased, like, hey, what are we going to do about it? Direct action. You got to fight the system.
Which, again, these are not new ideas. We're talking about, and I say this a lot on this stream, like on this podcast, like, we talk about a lot of these ideas now as if they're like brand new. Like, oh, we have to think of this shit up. These are leaders who've been talking about this stuff since the 60s. So really, and I think how appropriately this is the start of Black History Month. Like, really, if you want to know how to organize properly and to have an idea of how we can actually get change, as the title, thank you for Indy who named this clip, listen to our fucking leaders.
I mean, we should have titled it that.
Right. No, we're not going to do that.
You would have really been demonetized then.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
So, like, I received a tweet, someone, was like, oh, well, Kwame Ture, he said all of this. and he left to Africa and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you know, and I asked him, do you know why?
I'd go with them.
Right. But I think people are just kind of like, I think he was kind of saying, you know, like, well, he just talked a lot of stuff and didn't do much with the talking, you know. Brother, we're still talking about the man, you know, and he left a legacy in terms of what to do. And we have the information on YouTube. You can play, and I've played enough Kwame 206 to make y'all sick of it.
Next, I think you want to get it out by the end of the month. We're gonna put up a tweet up in a second with Joe and Colin want to do another video on just Black leaders for Black History Month. Send in your favorite clips of, you know, African American leaders for the movement, and
preferably if they're speaking, which I know is going to be hard to get for many of them, and I don't want to limit it to just African American leaders. I want to expand it, like if you're a Caribbean, of Caribbean descent like me, if you are from Europe, if you're from Africa, I want all of it. Okay? Like, because Black people, this has been our thing since the time that we've been sold and brought over here to the West. Like, this has been our thing, liberation. And so, you know, the fact that we're talking about this in terms of capitalism, I think is very fitting. So, as I said, I don't care. We don't care about the money here. Like, if you do decide to give us, great, fine. I really want eyeballs to see this.
Yeah.
So you have two things. And so this is my teacher mode. Like, you have two homework assignments. Number one, the link is in the description. Go to it, copy, paste, and share this out. We will also
click the button, click done. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just a clip, not with this. We're gonna clip this out, like with this commentary, within the next few days.
Wait, where's it at? I see it. I see it.
Yeah,
it's in the description. Yeah, it's in the description. So please share it out.
I'm going to tweet it right now. Here I go.
Thank you.
Look at you. So look at you doing it.
So number one, please share it out. Number two, all your favorite independent media personalities, tag them to this.
Yep.
You know, tag them to it. Even the ones you don't like, tag them to it.
Take your power back, people.
Right.
You can do that. It's all right.
Because really, this is what we should be talking about on the left, not just the messy shit that, you know, like there's all like this infighting and all this other bullshit, you know? So
on that note,
her first name is Poushhawn, right? Just want to make sure.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
I just want to make sure I'm shit at names, so I just want to make sure I'm getting it right.
No, you got it.
Okay.
But as I said, you will, I spoke to Tina earlier today. I showed her the clip first just to let her know what we're doing. She loves it. So, you know, but again, this is how you can support Tina. This is how you can support the Brown family. This is how you can keep not just Bouchon, but every Amazon death, wrongful death that has occurred within their organization since God knows how long, that is not getting any play, that mainstream media is not going to show because they're bought off by Amazon as well. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So they're not going to play this. So,
by the way, our Twitch stream is doing real well right now. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Is this GoFundMe?
Yes.
For the video? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll share that and I'll make it a thread.
So that's the other thing I want to share. They have a GoFundMe. Look, Bouchon left a teenage daughter that Tina is now currently raising. You know, and the fact that like Amazon is not really doing anything, but like, you know, to support this family. You know, I think it's just insane to me that they need a GoFundMe, honestly.
So,
you know,
right?
Like ridiculous. So Kameshwari Kate, words cannot express my gratitude with $10. You look at that, you use more than words. You did it.
Yeah, you did it.
Appreciate
and
you.
like I said, And like I said, you know, I don't care. We don't care about the money. We want people to see it, and we want it to spread around, and we want this to go viral. Honestly, like this is probably going to be one of the few times where I'm going to be like, I want you to do something to make something go viral. But I hope you can see why, given the context and the content of what Joe did. So again, Joe, love you, brother.
Go follow his stuff. You can find all the links to all the members
I miss you, Joe.
At indienews.network. He's on Telegram too. We need to set him up a channel.
Come on, dude. I suck at that shit and you know it.
I know, it's the worst. Like I gotta learn a new thing. I gotta put a new thing. I hate learning new things. It's the worst. And then we decide to hyperfixate on it, and then we're better than everyone. But you know, what are you gonna do? But indienews.network, you can find all our links. You can sub to all our channels. In the descriptions below, we have links to the A for A link trees and websites.